Every year, the country faces heavy rainfall. It starts from about May and runs through June to July. In 2011, the rainfall pattern was the one befitting our equatorial climate. It started in March and was continuous through to July and even beyond, making the water reservoirs very full. In the early hours of October 26, 2011, torrential rains hit Accra. The Meteorological Service Department reported that on that fateful day, 100 millimeters of rain fell with a short period of hours. The effect: all parts of Accra prone to flooding was inundated by water. The areas include the catchment of the Odo River. These are industrial estates, both south and north: Odona, Adabraka and Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Agbobloshi and Aboso Okai, Aveno and Caprice, North Kaneshi and Tesano, parts of Achimota, and so on. The Odo River is a water body that starts in from the passage under the Insawam Road. It then channels its water through Achimota, Alajo, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and then through Odona and South Industrial Estate into the Kole Lagoon and then into the sea at the Gulf of Guinea. It serves as a collecting basin for other small channels and gutters in the city. In the 1990s, the floor of the river from Alajo was lined with concrete so that earth-moving machines could drive into the river to dredge it and collect the salt into trucks that would cart them away to designated dumping sites outside the city. On October 26th, the rains that hit the city were off-season, even though the country was experiencing continuous rains. And since there was a low preparation for heavy rains that late October, the flood had severe impact. The heavy downpour that fateful morning caused the Odo River to break its banks, thereby flooding the nearby areas and exceeding its normal flood plain.
And after that, pavement was it. It's a pavement ama nipa kura cross street kura na je o mufa obi si akonkwanza na omde na cross ntena ma ha se ni nyina o ma yi a ama eya me force be yi blocks na wo no ye mi se bi o ma be ye gutter no up to no ma me en ni ta side dawa so to ma e disturb ya
start anajo anti ke be do inside no by 7 o'clock early in the morning no be gina bridge no so ultimate enter inside because you soon yira ama enipa gina wa de da okon the car small cars in na kataso and the gina bonte ama ne almost 10 to 10:30 in the morning asan en sunu nyina atwe bebre hwe omon kwamo bi mema wu mania de bi mema ne bi wa but the money bi wa ko mu kunum ne ade ya bi kwa na kwa na kiosk gotana no okwa ko yi fridge okwa yi TV ni ade kra so no twen no and kiosk ni na ro get no mani wu.
What caused the flood in the first place? Poor planning resulting from lack of coordination, illegal structures as well as undersized hydraulic structures, designing problems, rapid changes in land use patterns due to urbanization, development of settlements and water courses, and floodplains were some other causes of floods.
These things are happening because of our own behavior. That volume of water, if you look at the drains in the area, this volume of water could have gone freely if the gutters were free. But what happens? Since is it November to March, where we have dry season, people sweep, and the next place is the gutter. So the gutter becomes the place of refuse.
Imagine, AMA had a court order to remove these people at Sodom and Gomorrah. Then someone say, oh, leave it for me to do it. And that person didn't do it. So now look at that community. It has grown to the extent that they are even, I would say, reclaiming the calling. And what they do is they pour in sawdust. You understand? And then they cover it with sand. And then they build their kiosk. So if tomorrow it should rain and wash the sawdust, who caused it?
We've been telling residents in Accra here that Accra is a waterlogged area. For that matter, people shouldn't develop the buildings on waterways. But it looks like they don't take this advice. Every year, where this flooding takes place is where we have waterlogged areas.
We choke the gutters, the drains are choked, silt covers them. Then when the rains come, what happens? They have nowhere to go because the garbage is all over the place. They have to find a way of moving. Water cannot be stopped. So they look for another alternative. And that is what happens and causes the flood.
The flooding caused the affected communities to discharge massive amount of waste generated from the flooding during a short period of time. It also caused environmental stress such as bringing waste from river and channels to the Odo Channel and into the Korle Lagoon. The flooding also caused hygienic pollution from sewage polluted water within the uninundated areas. An increase of cholera incident has been reported 1 week after the flooding. During the reign of the floods, AMA made certain immediate interventions to help the water subside by digging up drains.
We started constructing that drain, but then it came to light that that whole area is going to be redesigned. The Kwame Nkrumah Circle, as you are seeing it, is going to be designed or constructed into an interchange. So it will be a waste of money to go ahead and construct that drain and then come back, destroy it in redesigning the whole road. So that construction has been kept in abeyance for the time being, whilst we're waiting for this project to come on. And this project is expected at least to begin any moment from now, because it was to begin before June or the second quarter of this year. So we're expecting that project to come on now very soon. And if it comes on, that drain is going to either be expanded or maybe it's going to be right in the middle of the road.
It's been 2 years down the line after the flood incident, and the drains that were dug have become an eyesore. It has now become the dump site for waste materials and breeding grounds for mosquitoes and other bacteria. This poses a serious environmental and health threat to the people living along these areas. After the floods, Government of Ghana, with the support of the UN system, developed a 5-year national plan of action on disaster risk reduction, the DRR. The plan contains measures in dealing with both natural and man-made hazards. The actions supporting the DRR proposals have a short, intermediate and long-term goals. Some of the actions are as follows: the silting of Odo Channel and its tributaries, establishing an early warning system for floods, reducing the number of people at flood risk, conducting a contingency plan for waste management, and deciding on a properly designed landfill for Greater Accra metropolitan area.
It's not only the odor, because we are desilting the odor from Aveno right into the Korle Lagoon, because the Korle Lagoon is the residual or the receiver of all this rainwater that will come from inland before it goes into the ocean, and it doesn't pass through only the odor. You understand? Some will come through the odor, especially those that will come from the Achimota area. There are others that will be coming from, let's say, Kolebu area. They don't go into the odor. They come straight into the Korle Lagoon. And even Accra here, they don't go into the odor drain. They go straight into the lagoon. So the Korle Lagoon is the final receiver of all this rainwater that will, if it should rain, apart from the desilting. We also identified areas outside the metropolis where we are going to construct what we call rainwater or stormwater retention ponds. You understand? So they will hold the water. If it is becoming too much, they will hold the water. These ponds will hold, or the ponds will keep the water, and then it will be allowed to flow slowly as and when the water in the Korle Lagoon recedes. You may be having high tide, that is, the sea is full. It also comes into the lagoon. You understand? So any water coming from inland will come against it, and then there will be like the rippling effect, which will lead it to spill over.
This document was 2 years back. The question now is, has AMA, NADMO and other authorities in charge been able to implement all these measures?
We assured the public that this time around, we've put in place measures that will help us to curb this menace of flood in the metropolis. And we assure you, the measures we put in place, we can name them. Like we have this rescue group, and we thank the government of Japan that we've been given vehicle logistics that will help us to carry on with these activities.
There is an Akan proverb that says, when it rains, the vulture says, I will build a house when the rain stops. But when the rain stops, he says, I will build my house tomorrow. This proverb perfectly describes the Ghanaian attitude towards life. We have had 3 floods in the last 7 years. After each round of floods, we make plans and proposals on how to mitigate the effects of the floods in future. But we soon forget the flood victims and all we promise to do for their sake till we are hit by another round of floods. The AMA forgets, the NADMO forgets, the Ministry of Water Resource forgets. To make it worse, those who suffered the flood soon forget what they suffered till the flood hits them again.